Alright, with Christmas over and we're entering the end of the year rush, I figure this is the best time to announce or begin the Game of the Year award show. That's right, this is going to be the pre-award episode as we're following suit with the Game Awards. So, as always, if you are unfamiliar with the award show here, it is 100% rigged. Only games I've played this year will count towards it. No DLC or early access games will also be eligible for the award. And as always, if you have any complaints or would like to issue bribes for me to nominate or award certain games, the bribing format has been updated yet again. All bribes must be in the form of a precious mineral or metal. So right now, the current offerings is a 10-month waiting list for any bribes with diamonds, 6-month waiting list for any bribes with gold, and a 2-month waiting list for anything with unobtainium. Now, if you do have any complaints about any of the awards, the nominees, or our process, you can file a complaint. All complaints come with a complaint filing fee of $10,000. But for the holiday season, you can buy access to the premium complaint bundle, which allows you to file 3 complaints for the low price of $27,500. So be sure to get those in now because they will be going away very shortly. So with that, let's get to some of our kind of pre-award awards, as these are awards I want to give out that aren't big enough to get their own day or video, but I still want to talk about them. And from last year's award show, I have switched to moving from like a best of 3, bronze, silver, gold, to just giving 2 to 5 games for each category the nom. So it allows me to reward more games and gives you guys more things to buy during the holiday season. The first award is one of my old standing ones, and that is the I Could Have Been a Contender award, for a game that probably would have made the list if I only had a chance to play it before I began my list nominations right now. The first one is Metaphor Phantasmo, however it's pronounced. The simple reason why I didn't play was I had to make an executive decision as to which big JRPG to try and play before the end of the year, and I of course went with Like a Dragon as a fan of Kiryu. But I do want to get to Metaphor at some point and give that one a good play. The next one is Caves of Quid, the ultra-massive turn-based open-world roguelike CRPG immersive sim where everything and anything can happen. I haven't played the game in about 3 years, and the reason why I didn't want to go back to it was I wasn't a huge fan of kind of like that kind of traditional roguelike UI and GUI. I have heard lots of great things about it, and much like with Dwarf Fortress, it is on the list to get to eventually. But if you guys have played it, let me know what you think about that one down below. The next one is the latest Shiren the Wanderer game. I want to make sure I get the right name. So this is Shiren the Wanderer, the Mystery Dungeon of Serpent Coil Island. So this is one that came out on the Switch. From Shiren and Mystery Dungeon fans have said a lot of praise about this one. And it just came to PC at the end of the year and at full price, so I'm waiting for a sale to pick that one up. But it sounds like another game that is right up my alley. For our next award, it is for Best DLC. Now, I said that DLC was not allowed for any major awards. I didn't say it wasn't allowed for minor awards. And again, if you have any complaints, you know what to do. And the winner for that goes to Ode to Castlevania from Vampire Survivors. We got not only a fantastic DLC for a Bullet Heaven, but probably one of the best kind of love letters to the entire Castlevania franchise that one could get, and of course not coming anywhere from Konami. Featuring kind of the who's who's of Belmonts, lots of remix and classical arrangements, and probably one of the most involved maps we've seen from a Bullet Heaven. If you're a Vampire Survivor fan, you have already picked it up. If you are a Castlevania fan who hasn't checked it out, by the laws of being a Castlevania fan, you are legally obligated to play it. So definitely an easy recommendation from me, and still kind of wows me with how much life there still is in the very first game to blow up this Bullet Heaven genre the last few years. As we've been copying the video game awards for today, we had to stop our awards segment for a quick commercial, as my latest book, Game Design Deep Dive Real-Time Strategy, is coming out on December 31st. So you can ring in the end of this year and the beginning of next year with a book all about the RTS genre, with all the command and conquering, starcrafting, asymmetrical unit designs, rock, paper, scissors, and of course, GUI designs. Lots and lots of GUIs. It's going to be available where all books are being sold. You can pre-order it from my publisher site. I'll include a link to it down below. And make sure to buy as many copies of it that you've played RTS games. But with that, let's get back to the award list. My next award is going to be for, I'm going to say, most disappointed game of 2024. Unfortunately, I have two that I want to give to. The first is Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. As many of you know, I've been playing lots and lots of Metroidvanias this year while writing my next book on Metroidvania design. And while Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown was a fantastic action game, very stylish, love the art style of it, it just did not work for me in terms of what I was looking for as a Metroidvania. It had too few upgrades I think really mattered. The level design was very flat in terms of not allowing for multiple routes, and it just kind of missed the whole reward progression model that we come to know and love from Metroidvania design. If you want to know more about those, then you should check out the upcoming book, Game Design Deep Dive Metroidvanias. Yes, we're fitting in multiple advertisements in our awards this year, so thank you, Jeff, for the inspiration on that front. Now, the other game that unfortunately makes it to this list is one that I picked up for our Halloween special, and I played it for one night. I just did not get into it, and that was Conscript. Conscript has been a very long time coming horror game. I know it's one that a lot of people have enjoyed, but I just found it more annoying than I did scary. When they introduced the whole kind of rats coming back or rats appearing on different corpses, and it just meant that everything that I did up until that point is now infinitely harder, on top of not being able to see the rats due to the isometric perspective, and it just became one of those cases of, do I want to keep playing, or do I just want to move on? And I decided to move on. Which is a shame, as I love the aesthetic and kind of the style of that game, but it just did not work for me as to what I was looking for a horror game for 2024. Our next award, this is Best Game That I Completely Suck At award, and that goes to Marvel Rivals. Who would have thought that a game built on the Marvel IP, made use of the whole comic book aesthetic and style, would actually do well compared to the ones that try to go all super realistic, dark, and grim. But Marvel Rivals looks like it's going to be kind of like this year's surprise success when it comes to a massive IP. They got the IP and branding down. Now the only question, however, is can they keep the ball rolling with more updates, balancing? When will they add new characters? How will they add new characters? And of course, dealing with everyone complaining about so-and-so being overpowered or so-and-so being completely weak. And I'll let all of you fill in the blanks in the comments there. And for our next award, this is a very specific award, and that is Josh's favorite game of 2024 that can't count because it's actually a mod to a game that came over 20 years ago, and no matter how long Josh's been playing with it, it unfortunately can't count for an award. Very specific, I know. And that's going to go to X-Pirates, the mod for the original XCOM. I have been playing this one on and off throughout 2024, and it almost led to the book being delayed with how much time I spent playing it off stream and in my downtime. It is a fantastic mod for what it is, and that is a very elevated take on the progression and gameplay of XCOM. And in that respect, it's a lot of what I wanted to see someone really try and do, in terms of focusing on more kind of qualitative units, a very, very extensive tech tree and progression, and still having the difficulty and depth that the series is known for. Second place would definitely go to the XCOM Files. Both deliver very different takes on progression, but they both kind of have this build-up. And it's something that I feel is missing from a lot of turn-based strategy, tactical RPGs, that kind of thing. Where you can start with a team of 5, or in XCOM Files case, a team of 2, and still deliver nail-biting tactical strategy and focusing on progression, where just being able to afford that one more character or get that one more tier of armor, and suddenly the world is open to you. If you have any interest in the original XCOM or tactical strategy design, I highly recommend them both. And again, with XCOM Pirates or X-Pirates, is for adults only, as it's very mature. Although the entire fan service of just completely is ignored by me because I'm more concerned about why my characters are dying and why I need to research or how to research some new tech. Still, very great examples of mods, and it is just, again, the tip of the iceberg in terms of the sheer variety and creativity of mods and free games being released in today's market. Speaking of, one of our major awards will be kind of best games that are available for $0, so be sure to tune into that one when it goes up. Our next award is the You're Killing Me award, for games that are going to make it very difficult to decide which ones are going to be my favorite when they are finally released. And that goes to Sulaco and Relentless Frontier. We have two GZ Doom developed games, both very different in terms of their gunplay and design, and both that, at least from what we played so far, are very fantastic. And I shudder to think what will happen if they are released the same year as Ultra Kill, Cultic, and I'm pretty sure I'm forgetting at least another one or two on that list. But if you are a boomer shooter or just a shooter fan in any respect, then you definitely need to check them both out, as they are utterly fantastic even in early access. I think that does it for all the minor awards / commercial advertisements / propaganda for the channel. So this should be going up on the day after Christmas. I'm going to be taking a day or two off as we are in the middle or getting to the end of the year. But I will be starting the countdown very shortly of all the awards and my favorite games of 2024. And as one final alert, as we are entering 2025, I want to give everyone the heads up that means we are going to be turning on 2020 New Game Plus 5 rules for the year. And for this year's modifiers, it means all of the previous year's modifiers in terms of difficulty have been given a 50-point increase. So make sure that all of you have maxed out your perk trees, upgraded your gear, and maybe rolled on the latest gotcha banner here and there to have the best chance of surviving. With that said, everyone, have a great rest of the day. Hope you had a great holiday, and we got some last minute hurrahs left for 2024. Thanks for watching, and a special thank you to our Patreon supporters. If you enjoyed the video, do the YouTubing stuff, be sure to visit our Discord and Patreon, and you're interested in more in my thoughts on design, check out my game design books.